Topping today's news, the Boundaries Commission still not ready to report to the Prime Minister. A veteran pilot at Bahamas Air fired for misconduct. The school breakfast program expanding, and the battle for the Fox Hill constituency already heating up, but the PLP incumbent is confident of a victory. This is your JCN Evening News. I'm Jcn Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Voters and candidates are eager to find out what the report of the Boundaries Commission will say and which boundaries may get cut and whether there will be more than the current 39 seats when the 2026 elections come around. However, on Monday, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who serves on that Boundary Commission, said that the commission will not present its report to the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, before the House of Assembly holds its next sitting on October 8th. Cooper says the commission is working to ensure that information from the Parliamentary Registration Department is accurate before submitting their final report. The 2026 elections, by the way, can be held as late as October 2026. On Monday, Bahamas Air representatives responded to a dispute which made international news involving two pilots at the end of August in Abaco. The aircraft, which was scheduled to depart for West Palm Beach, however, was grounded in Abaco, stranding over 100 passengers for hours. Bahamas Air's managing director, Tracy Cooper, shared how the airline handled the situation.
The flight departed Nassau without an issue. However, upon arrival in Marsh Harbor, the first officer advised the airline's Operation Control Center of a concern regarding cockpit dynamics and recommended, in the interest of professional standards, that the flight not proceed until the matter was reviewed. Bahamas Air Flight Operations Management acted promptly and responsibly, relieving both flight crew members of duty in accordance with standard industry practices. Relief pilots were immediately dispatched to Marsh Harbor, and the flight continued to West Palm Beach without further incident.
The captain, who was relieved of his duties, has been serving with Bahamas Air for over 12 years. Complaints were reportedly made against him by a fellow pilot who accused him of vaping in the cockpit and being slack with his duties. Here is audio of the pilot expressing his frustration after being reprimanded by Bahamas Air officials.
Somebody talking my business. I get in kangaroo court for vaping and running a slack operation. Words cannot describe how I feel it, because I be on hot right now. But with all due respect, privilege just stop. Please, there will be no cell phones in my cockpit. And I mean, everything that you touch, you will let me know. As a matter of fact, you don't touch nothing without letting me know. You don't start up nothing without letting me know. You don't shut down nothing without letting me know.
Bahamas Air did not give precise details of what happened and did not give the pilot's name. But some online sources say he is Javon Roll. Meanwhile, Mr. Cooper also spoke about how the airline compensated passengers who were inconvenienced.
So Bahamas Air's compensation packages or compensation standards for each of the inconvenience that we may have for our customers. If there were passengers that had misconnections, we would have reaccommodated them. For passengers that would have had simply, appointments or whatever, once they would have told us, then they would have been reaccommodated.
Bahamas Air stressed that the safety and comfort of its passengers and crew will always be their top priority. On Monday, the National School Breakfast Program reached a major milestone, now providing meals to more than 20,000 students across all pre-primary and primary government schools nationwide, according to the Minister of Education, Glenys Hannah Martin. Since its launch, the program has served nearly 1 million breakfasts. She said what began in 2023 as a pilot in 8 schools has now expanded to all 115 government preschools, primary schools, all age schools, and most special needs schools across 17 islands, reaching over 20,000 students. The program also provides a meaningful economic stimulus with over 140 Bahamian vendors engaged to prepare and deliver healthy meals. Prime Minister Philip Davis emphasized the long-term impact of the program, saying the initiative is part of a broader mission to build resilience, equity, and opportunity for the next generation. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister reminded us on Monday that the reduction in value-added tax from 10% to 5% on a range of essential items like medicines, medical supplies, feminine hygiene products, and baby and adult diapers became effective on September 1st and is intended to ease the burden on households. Well, Kwesi Thompson, shadow minister for the official opposition, said while the Davis administration touts the reduction, they will not acknowledge that under the F&M, value-added tax on the same items was zero. He said the Davis administration raised the rate, called it reform, now pretends to be easing the burden by cutting their own tax in half. He urged the government to restore the zero VAT rate on essential medicines and supplies. And finally, in this segment, some political pundits suggested that Fred Mitchell, the incumbent for the Fox Hill constituency, may be feeling some pressure from the recently ratified F&M candidate, Dr. Nicholas Fox. Well, on Monday, while speaking to PLP members and supporters, the PLP chairman and Minister of Foreign Affairs said he's never scared. He explains why, though, his focus has been on the F&M's candidate in recent weeks.
The hatred by the official F&M of me is so strong that they have made it a targeted seat. And some people have said, because of the voice notes attacking their campaign, the PLP's candidate is running scared my bloody foot. But it was interesting to receive the reactions to what I said last week about this bad campaign the F&M is running. I want to do a summary of it. The F&M candidate is irrelevant, in a sense, because he represents the F&M. And the question is, what has the F&M done in Fox Hill? They paved not one road, hired not one person. The pool turned green under their time, didn't build one building.
Mr. Mitchell was speaking from Ethiopia, where he is accompanying the Prime Minister, who is attending the Africa CARICOM Summit. He reminded the voters in Fox Hill what the PLP has done in that constituency. Mr. Mitchell said instead of running a nasty campaign, he will take a different approach.
Response from PLPs and people of goodwill to what I said last week. They wrote things like this. Yes, Fred Mitchell, you deserve another term and thank you. That you try your best. You stand up for us. You get back to us. You support our schools, our churches, our children. You got this from PLPs and people of goodwill. The one I liked was, you are my man of business. Then there were the ladies who sent the hog plums and the dillies, the pastor who sent the 12 eggs raised by his own hand in his own yard. You call that love, people. So yes, brothers and sisters, it's interesting to read the reactions, but I pledge to all Fox Hillians to continue my campaign of love, not hate. Leave hate to the F&M and his candidate and the four people who campaigned for him in Fox Hill. Fred Mitchell is running on the love boat. All aboard, Fox Hill.
Again, Mr. Mitchell accusing some of Dr. Fox's supporters of stabbing him in the back, in essence, after he helped them in the past. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.